Yo, what's going on, man? Today is January the 1st, 2024. Happy New Year to the people, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. We got a big slate. I only got a couple minutes. Not as long of a show today as I typically go, but it's a lot of spots on the card that I like today. I know it's New Year's Day. I know, it could be a little janky at times. I had the Grizzlies last night. That was not a winner. But speaking of recap, I think when I did the show the other day, I think I gave out Philly in the first half. That was the only play that I would have won official on against Chicago Bulls, and they looked like they won the second leg of the back-to-back. That was not a winner. But then yesterday we bounced back. We did bounce back yesterday. Yesterday, just real quick, I was on Jalen Johnson for the Atlanta Hawks points and rebounds over 26.5. That was a winner. New Orleans first half. New Orleans first half -2.5 and New Orleans -5.5 for the full game were both winners as well. Also took OKC in the first half. That was not a winner. And then Memphis on the money line was not a winner either. So we finished 3-2 yesterday for some profit, and that's what we're here for. So how I'm looking at the games for today. First game up, and these games do start in about the Knicks game actually starts in about 30 minutes. So in about 45 minutes. So real quick, let's get through these games. So Timberwolves and Knicks. I like the spot for the Timberwolves here. I took the Timberwolves on the money line. To me, I just feel like they're the better team right now. I'm looking at this Knicks team, and let me just get to my notes real quick. So the Timberwolves are a much better team at home than they are on the road. We know that, but even on the road, they're still 8-1 as a favorite. I know they're a short favorite in the spot. I don't like the spot as much for the Knicks. 3-game road trip is what they just had, and they lost all of those games. Didn't cover any of them either. And for me, it goes back to the defense. I think the defense is just going to continue to struggle. Also, I think this is a third game in 4 nights as well, because I know I think they only had one day off in between. They had the back-to-back with the Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I don't like the spot as much for the Knicks in this spot. I was looking through some of the social media stuff, trying to see what the players or the coaches were doing. And Chris Finch, the coach of the Timberwolves, said he was, as far away from Times Square as possible last night. Said he went south and, to get dinner, and then he went even farther, I guess after everybody kind of broke up. So with that in consideration, and then I think about also, I think a big part of the handicap is players playing from close to where they're from. And, whenever in my estimation, I'm always looking for the Timberwolves playing close to home, right? So Nas Reed is from Jersey. We know Karl Anthony Towns is from Jersey. So I think, and I want to say it's another player on the team as well. I think they're going to turn up in the Garden tonight. I know it is a revenge spot for the Knicks, but I don't care. I like the Timberwolves in the spot on the money line. Minnesota 7-3 straight up in their last 10. They beat the Knicks by 17 back on November the 20th. They were laying 2.5 in that spot as a home favorite, and it was a super low total of 214. So of course you see the total come all the way up. I didn't mess with the total in this one. It is an earlier start time, but I took the Timberwolves on the money line. I'm not going to go through all the comments today, but I will say happy holidays and happy New Year to the gang, man. I think it could be a Nas Reed game. I do see that from David. Yeah, I think it could be a big Nas Reed game. Nas Reed is from Jersey. He typically plays the Knicks really, really well. I could definitely see it. Let's see. Raptors fans said, Happy New Year, Chris. First play of the new year. My former Raptor, OG Anunoby, over 1.5 threes. He's familiar with this Timberwolves team and has gone over 4 of his last 5 games against them. Okay. Hey, best of luck there. Young Harlow says Timberwolves third quarter playing that. Yeah, if the Knicks should come out with everything they got in the first quarter and first half. I just don't think that they'll be able to sustain that throughout the entirety of the game. Locked and Loaded says I'm going Timberwolves -1 and only one and only play. Just a whole lot of unknowns for the Knicks. Yeah, I think so as well. I think the Knicks are going to be a little bit better because Precious Achiuwa is going to help this team out a lot, especially with Mitchell Robinson being down. But it's going to take a while for them to get acclimated. So I don't like that spot as much. Hobby Nova says, I love Houston today. Chris locked in the 7.5. Feel like the Pistons are fade. We'll get to that game. Matter of fact, let's keep going because, like I said, I'm gonna be quick. So Cavs and Raptors up next. I don't have a lot on this game. I don't like the Raptors. Not much at all. The news did just break maybe about 30 minutes ago that I think Quickly and RJ Barrett is going to they're going to start today in this game. So The Cavs, we were on the Cavs plus 5.5 in the last game versus the Bucks. They didn't play too well in that spot, but you typically want to take them as a dog. I know that they're still without Evan Mobley, they're still without Garland, but this Cavs team is going to compete. They're going to play really, really hard, and I don't like this Raptors team at all. They're really talking about continuing to shake this roster up. Masai Ujiri, already pulling the trigger on some of those guys, and I do think that he's not done. It's going to be a lot more. This team is probably going to get broken all the way up. So I don't like this Raptors team. I would lean towards the Cavs in this spot, but it's not a game that I played. I tell you one thing I did play in this spot though. I really like the spot for Jared Allen in this game. We see this Raptors team just get smoked against centers. 2 games ago it was Luke Cornett who did him real dirty. And he's a backup center for Boston. And then last game it was Jalen Duren. So I do like Jared Allen a lot. I played Jared Allen in this game, over 28.5 points plus rebounds. I think you could potentially ladder as well. I know if you go to DraftKings, you can take like 35 plus, you can take 40 plus. So that's the way I would play this one if I was going to play this one at all. It would be Jared Allen, points plus rebounds in this spot. I think the number's 28.5 and probably available still on DraftKings. That's what I played. All right, so next game up, we got Pistons, we got Rockets. This line is up to 9.5. I actually fell asleep capping this game last night. The line was at 7.5. I wish I could have got that number, but it's not now. We see this Pistons team finally get a win the other day. They did have a couple days off after beating the Toronto Raptors, and now you catch them on the road. I think I want to say it's a nice little, I'm not sure if it's a one-off or not. Let me just check that real quick. Regardless, it really don't matter in this spot. I think I do want to see it real quick though. So Detroit it's actually the first game of a long road trip for them. They actually play Utah on Wednesday. 2-point win the other day. The defense has still been bad. Even in these games that they've been winning, they gave up 122 to Boston. 128 to Boston. They gave up 127 to Toronto. And Toronto was on the second leg of a back-to-back. I think this is a Houston spot. I know Houston has not been playing their best basketball. They'll still be without Dylan Brooks. I did see that Tari Eason is also still listed as questionable in this game. The Thompson brothers will be playing against each other. 3 straight losses for Houston. And they still got 4 more games at home, including this game today. They got Brooklyn coming up on Wednesday. So I just went through and I was just kind of looking at because their defense has been really bad. They gave up 123 to Indiana. They gave up 129 to Phoenix. And they gave up 131 to Philly. And none of these games went to overtime. So I'm going through and I'm just reading some of the Houston Chronicle stuff. And it sounds like they had a really, really, really intense practice. And Ime Udoka, kind of had I would say a team meeting with the team. What that translates to me in this spot is that this Rockets team is going to be extremely motivated in this game. And that's what you like playing off of. You like playing off motivation. So I took the Rockets. I think it's going to be early. I think it's going to be often. I don't expect – I hope Tari Eason is in there because you definitely need him to slow down Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham has been absolutely balling. But I'm not sure, outside of Bogdanovich, who else is going to be able to help him. Jalen Duren has been killing on the rebounds, on his points plus rebounds. And, I think Monty Williams finally realized you got to take Killian Hayes out and you got to give Jaden Ivey a lot more minutes. So the 3 of those guys are really, really – I like their game. And I've been rooting for the Pistons to get their win, and I'm glad that they did. But I don't think this is a good spot for the Pistons in this one. Hopefully they were the team – they're a young team. Hopefully they're the team that went out and kind of party last night. I think this Rockets team is going to come in really, really locked and loaded. So I played the Rockets early. I played them often. I played them full game. First quarter, first half, and full game. I got a 2.5 on the first quarter. I got a 5 in the first half, and I got a 9 for the full game. So it's still some 9s out there available as well. And that's the way I chose to play this one. Like the Rockets off 3 straight losses, don't have a look-ahead spot at all, and, got a bad taste in their mouth because they didn't really had to sit with these games since the 29th. So they had the 30th off, the 31st off, and when you get all that time off, that's when you can actually get into practice and, figure things out. So love backing this team off 3 straight losses here in a home game. I think they come in really, really motivated in this spot. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. What's up to the people who joined late? Do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button for me if you can. Let's see. Can't trust Houston no more. NLMB says I'm on them today. I'm on Houston. I took them all 3. I didn't play all of them equally. I always play first quarters a little bit more lighter, but I think this one start early. I don't give out a lot of first quarter plays either. First quarter, first half. First half is my favorite spot. The minus the 5 in the first half. What's up, S. Dot? Stretch likes Duran 12 rebounds, Cade 20 points. He likes that. Dante says if Jabari Smith and Eason play, Detroit team total under 109.5. I like that look a lot as well, Dante. He says Udoka has came out about their lack of defense. I agree. He talked. I read it. I read a couple articles. Sounds like they're gonna be highly motivated in this spot. Raptors fans say he's like Sengun. Coop says shout out to the Pistons for finally breaking the streak and cashing me out, but not taking them against the Rockets team that's struggling. What's up to my guy RC in the chat? What up, RC? Happy New Year to you and the fam as well, bro. I hope everything is well. What's up, Malik? Appreciate you for being here as well. Let's see. Let's go to the next game. Like I said, it's gonna be a quick show. I'm trying to be out of here. I got a lot going on today. So next game up, we got Pacers and we got Bucks. So this game will be back in it'll be back in Milwaukee. Looking at this game, the Bucks are hot. They're hot. They're 16-2 at the crib over and like quietly kept. They're actually starting to play a little bit defense. They're 9-1 straight up in their last 10. The numbers are always going to be overinflated for this team. Whenever you get Giannis and you get Dame, just scoring the way that they can. I think they're averaging like 125 points. They're the best offensive team in the league. It makes sense. Of course, this is the rivalry game as well, because these teams have played against each other already 3 times in this young season. With the Pacers beating them the first time, the second time, of course, was in the in-season tournament. The Pacers beat them in that spot as well, 128-119. And then the Bucks got home and got their revenge right after that. They beat this Pacers team 140-126 at the crib. The total in the game every single time so far has gone up. The first total when they played was 239.5. They flew over that. They scored 152. I'm sorry, they scored 250. Next game, it went up 18.5 points. And that's the only one that went under. This was the in-season tournament game where you had a lot of motivation. 257.5, it went under. They played again. They set the total. The books set the total at 258, and it flew over that 266 points. The total is a little too high for me at 261. But if I'm playing it, that's still the only way I'm playing it. I still don't believe in this Bucks defense. I do think that they can score the ball. We know the guys that typically have success is Giannis, who had 64 points in the last game, and before that he had can't remember how many he had before that, but he had a big game before that as well. And then the other game was the other player was Miles Turner. He always pulls Brook Lopez away from the rim and shoots the ball really, really well. So could Giannis have another big game? Absolutely. This is the first game that Giannis has seen his team since the whole stealing of the basketball for a 64-point game. So, take with all that information, do what you want. I don't like that Bruce Brown is out. He's not officially listed as out. I think he's listed as doubtful, but I don't think he's going to play in this game. I still probably be taking the points with the Pacers in this spot. If I had to make a play on the game, not the strongest, play. The Pacers have won 3 straight and covered all 3 spreads, and not the greatest spot for the Bucks just because they're coming off a 4-game road trip. This is their first game back home. They did cover, but they covered against the Cavs. That was the Cavs' first game getting Donovan Mitchell back. They covered against the Brooklyn Nets. We know that the Brooklyn Nets rested all their players in the second half of that game, and the Brooklyn Nets was on the second leg of that back-to-back after almost losing to Detroit the night before. So I don't really necessarily like the spot too much for them. I think the team that's going to be able to beat this Bucks team, or at least be able to cover, is going to be defensive teams, though. Like I'm looking at the Orlando Magic when they played Orlando. Orlando is a pretty good defensive team. I just feel like if the Pacers are, if the Bucks are in a game where, they're playing against a team that don't, struggle to guard, then they can always kind of cover the spread. So no real play for me on this game. I still lean towards the over, even at 261. Crazy as that seems, I'm not going to get there. If this is what I do. If the total goes up to about 270, 272, at the game at any point, because it starts off with a lot of points, that's when I'll probably come in and take a full game under. Probably like in the second quarter or close to the third quarter. But I don't really have a lot of strong, plays for this game specifically. All right, so next game up, let's go to the chat real quick. Let's see. Yeah, locked and loaded. I'm with you. I would lean towards the Pacers being able to catch the points in this spot as well. RC reminding everybody to hit the like button. He said it takes a click. Let's see. Locked and loaded says Holly and them boys look like they're getting back in that mode. Yeah. So I'll say this real quick, and then I'll keep it moving. I'm not gonna get to all the comments, but remember fading the Pacers after the in-season tournament was good because they had all of those games in one stretch. They played like 5 games in 8 days, and all of them was on the road. Now they've actually had a chance to get back home, get their feet up underneath them a little bit, get some practice time in, and they're rested, and they're playing a lot better. Even the Pacers struggle with playing as fast as they play consistently. I hope that makes sense. You can go through and kind of look at the numbers. The Pacers without rest, they're not a team you want to play on this year. When they are rested, it's typically a team you do want to play on. So I'll just add that. But the Pacers are rested in this spot, and like I said, it could be. I think the Bucks are going to be motivated for the spot just because they're playing against the Pacers. But and that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of staying off the game. Raptors fan says taking the obvious play here. Giannis over 34.5. Coop says I bet Giannis to be the first player to score 40 in 2024. FanDuel New Year's specials. Like my chances, new game, ball income. Yeah, I could definitely see Giannis going for 40 today. David says, I don't love this game. However, a lot of home bodies on the Pacers. I might dabble with them covering the spread. Let's move to the next game respectfully. Let's see. Stretch Mouse says Giannis 40, Dame 3 threes, Holly over 18.5 points, 12 assists, Neesmith 10 plus and 2 threes. Okay. Coop says wanted to take Holly points, but not enough value on the ladder, so I'll keep it light. I can see that as well. RC says Pacers going over their team total in 8 straight games against the Bucks. This could be the play. Maybe you just focus on that. The Pacers going over their team total. I know it's probably something crazy high. What is that? 130 divided by 2, subtract 4. So 126.5, I think is what it should be. Something like that. I can see the Pacers scoring that many points for sure. All right, let's keep going. And shout out to you as well, Justin, in the chat. Appreciate you for tapping in, man. Let's keep going. We got a couple more games. We got Blazers and we got Suns next. So as much as I wanted to play the Suns in this spot, I just, man, it's difficult. I think so looking at the game, the Blazers are 11.5 point dogs in this spot. I want to say the line opened at 11. Phoenix has not been the greatest team at home. They're just 8-9 straight up, 5-13 against the spread. But this to me is a Phoenix Suns spot. I watched the game last night. The Suns look really, really good in the first half. They scored 31 points in the first quarter. I think it was 37 points in the first quarter against Orlando, and then they followed it up in the second quarter with 31 points. I'm like, okay, the Phoenix Suns like really starting to click now. They got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant all playing together, and then they kind of slow down in the second half, and you see Orlando kind of pick up the defensive intensity. Phoenix also picked up the defensive intensity. This is not a Phoenix spot. They just beat this team when everybody thought that Phoenix was cooked for the season. This game was just played 2 weeks ago, December 19th. They lost in Portland 109-104. Absolute dud of a game that was for the Phoenix Suns in that one. Now 2 weeks later, you see Portland. They are not. This is why it's a big injury list for the Portland Trail Blazers. Anthony Simons is already ruled out. Shaedon Sharpe already ruled out. DeAndre Ayton also already ruled out. You got Reith coming off the bench. He's doubtful today. Kamara also questionable. So this could really get out of wax. I know it's a big number, but I think Phoenix is probably winning this game by double digits at halftime. I think the best play in this game is probably Phoenix early. I don't know if they're going to be able to cover the full game, but they have been starting the games really, really hot. And I watched them do that to an Orlando team yesterday. And Orlando is extremely motivated. We know Paolo has that history with Kevin Durant. So I knew he was going to get up for that game yesterday. And you see Orlando do, really, really well. Portland, not so much. Portland just gave up 128 points to the San Antonio Spurs. That didn't have that team didn't even have Victor Wembanyama the second time around. They gave up 118 with Victor Wembanyama, and then they gave up 113 to the Sacramento Kings as well. So I think Phoenix, either looking at the team total to go over for the full game, even though it's the second leg of a back-to-back, but more so because it's the second leg of a back-to-back, I would play Phoenix in the first half in this spot. Not sure what the best number is. Let's see. Phoenix in the first half, probably something like 8. I think will be I didn't play this. I'm not as interested in this game. Maybe I'll play something live. You actually can get 6.5. I think it's a double-digit game at halftime, especially with the revenge factor. I know, I saw Devin Booker interview last night, and they were talking about the bubbly being in the locker room, and he was saying that, it was cider He said it with a smirk, so I'm pretty sure it was alcoholic. But I just feel like they probably didn't do as much. It's an older team. I don't think they did as much. And Phoenix really need the wins too. So I do think that they come out here and smash Portland early in this one. And that's the way I would play this game. Real quick comments. Happy holidays to everyone that is joining live as we join. RC says that team total is 126. He says he don't got nothing for the next games. I'm out, Chris. Happy New Year to you and the fam. Same to the chat. Keep supporting Chris and hit the like button for real, for real. Appreciate you, RC. Happy New Year to you and the family again, my brother. Let's see. LA says the like button is in the same place as it was last year. Smash it. Appreciate that, LA. LJ likes the Suns in the first quarter. I like this look a lot, LJ. First quarter, and I don't even play a lot of first quarters if it's over, one possession. But first quarter -3.5. He says Portland ranks 28th in first quarter scoring, then 9 and 20-2 against the spread in the first quarter. I like that look a lot. Like I said, my top look will probably be first half, just so teams can kind of shake the cobwebs out. 3 more games. Let's get to them. Next one up, we got Hornets. We got Nuggets. This spread has ballooned all the way to 15.5. Of course, with the news that Terry Rozier is listed as questionable with an illness in the spot. Not a great spot for Portland. I mean, for Charlotte in this game at all. I was looking through and I'm like, man, this is really bad. So on top, even and Charlotte has been covering these big numbers. Like they continue to be, I wouldn't say disrespected because their team is terrible, but they continue to be, they got the new longest losing streak in the NBA. OG Anunoby will start in his Nets debut today. Some news just came in. So OG Anunoby, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Randall, and Hartenstein there. All right, so getting back to this game, Charlotte, they covered last game against Phoenix. They were getting 15.5 points in that game, but they gave up 133. They lost and didn't cover against the Lakers. They also gave up 133. Against the Clippers, they never take their opponent serious when their opponent is really, really bad. So they covered that spread as well. They were catching 11. They only gave up 113 in that spot. The Clippers also one of the slower paced teams in the league. I think in this game, and this is the reason why I couldn't play Charlotte. On top of Rozier being listed as doubtful now. This is the 4th straight road game. They got 6 road games all together. The worst part, though, is the first leg of a back-to-back. They actually got to play in Sacramento tomorrow. So that spread is probably going to be like 17.5 tomorrow, especially if, this game is remotely even close in this one. So I was doing, kind of going through and looking at some numbers and some SDQO numbers, and it tells me that Charlotte gets smoked in this spot. I'm not laying, the super big number, but I did play Denver team total to go over in this spot. The number was 120.5, I want to say, up to 121 on some books. I think that's the top play in this game. I think they score 120 points in their sleep tonight. They're a much better rebounding team. They could potentially get Aaron Gordon back tonight as well. We know he was dealing with the lacerations to his face and his hand from the dog bite that happened on Christmas. And I don't think that Mark Williams is going to play either. So I think Charlotte gets smoked in this spot. I just played Denver team total over. They'll probably push the pace. Second unit probably will play a lot. And I think, guys like Strother, guys like Christian Watson, guys like Christian Brown, I think those guys will, be able to score against the second Charlotte team. Charlotte is a low-scoring team. They don't play with a lot of pace, but I think Denver, forces turnovers, gets out on the break. And I like Denver team total to go over in this spot. It's how I chose to play this one. All right, so 2 more games. Let's see. Go Young DJ says, I'm late, but please explain why the Wolves are only 1.5 versus the Knicks. Could be a sleepy spot for the Wolves, man. I took the Wolves. I'm on the Wolves, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the line should be. I'm not sure what the line should be. Knicks may turn up in this spot. I'm on the Wolves though. Let's see. David says, Chris, I'd say go easy with the Pacers. This is a home and home matchup. Bucks and Indy on Wednesday. I did see that as well, David. I'm glad you said that. I did see that. So the Bucks do play the Pacers in Indy on Wednesday. I think the Bucks could potentially, and that's why I don't play these front leg of these games as well. Not even going off my notes. I didn't even pull my notes up for this game. Just kind of, I remember it because I just capped the games like a couple hours ago. But that's why I don't typically play the front end of those games where it's like a little mini back-to-back series. I like to see what happened in the first one, then play the second one. I think it's a lot, you can make a lot of money just kind of going back to getting things that regress back to the mean. So I agree with you, David. David also says new trade pieces plus the Wolves got some home cooking. Cat and Nas are from Jersey. Always play the Knicks tough. Yeah, that's why I'm on. That's why I'm on. If you listen earlier, that's why that was part of the cap as well. Dante says Charlotte will struggle to get to 100. If they will struggle to get to 100 if Rozier doesn't play. We were on Charlotte team total under in the full game under in that last spot. I think with Denver off the home loss against the Thunder the other day, they don't have a game till a couple more days when they play against the Warriors. I do think it's a Denver spot. I can't lay the points. That's a lot of points. Considering first half, that number is big as well, but Denver should be winning by double digits at halftime. That's the way I'm kind of looking at the game. 2 more games, and then we up out of here. So next game, we got Mavs and we got Jazz. This game is really, really interesting to me. If you guys watched the show on Saturday, I talked about the Jazz just kind of this is their role. They're home dogs, the best home dog team in the league. For Dallas, this team is really, really good as well. They do have a winning record on the road. I want to say it's something like 10-7, 10-6, maybe 11-6 on the road. Let me just pull that up real quick. So Dallas is on the road. They are 11-7, and they just smoked the Golden State Warriors 2 nights ago as well. There's also the news that Kyrie came back. Kyrie is back. He did go through shoot around. He's questionable for this game. He was listed as doubtful for the last one. He could potentially play. Dante Exum, same thing. I do think that Luka's going to play. He's also listed as questionable for this game. And you got Steph Curry listed as questionable with an illness also. Utah, nobody on the injury report. And I probably should have just played them the other day when they were 3.5-point dogs against the Miami Heat. But I respect the Heat enough to stay off of that game. But like I said, it happened just the way I thought it would. Even though Dallas owns this team, they are 8-2 straight up in the last 10, 7-3 against the spread. The Utah Jazz are the best home dog team in the league. This is the super revenge game. They lost by 50. And I don't know if I tweeted it out or not, but Coach Will Hardy was so upset. He was frustrated. He was pissed in that last game. He had some choice words for his team after they lost, because these 2 teams did just play. That game was on December the 6th. They lost 147-97. Luka had a triple-double at halftime, for people who don't remember that game. I want to say that's the game he had triple-double at halftime. That game was played in Dallas. So now you see this line come. It opened at 4. It actually went down. Well, opened at 3.5. It went down to 3. So money came in on the Jazz. Then you see Kyrie and Exum go through shoot-around, be present, and it's up to 4.5. I like the Jazz in this spot. I love the Jazz in this spot. They're 8-3 at the crib as a home dog in this spot. I'm not saying that they're not going to win that they're going to win the game, but I think they keep it really, really close. Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton in the starting lineup now. You got Keontae George coming off the bench. You got Walker Kessler down there to bang with what's the rookie name? I can't think of his name. Derek Lively. I think it's a Jazz spot. 4.5 is too many points. I will be on them. I sent this out when I sent all my plays out to the members. I didn't send this out. I told them I was going to be on the Jazz in this spot, but I thought the line would move, and I didn't want to take the 3.5 if I can get a 4.5. And if Kyrie and those guys are ruled in, I think this line might touch 5. Maybe it touches 5. And Denver is a really good team. I just think it's a Jazz spot, especially off the super embarrassing loss. They also don't play again till they got Detroit on Wednesday, so not too much of a look-ahead spot, while Dallas doesn't have a look-ahead spot either, but it is the third game and final game of a road trip against the Portland Trailblazers. So I really, really like the Jazz. I think they're super motivated in the spot. I low-key want to get on the Jazz in the first half too, but I might end up getting there. But I got a lot of plays for today, which actually is kind of scary. But yeah, I will be on the Jazz. Just haven't made the play official yet. So those are my thoughts here. Let's see what y'all say in the comments. Then we got one more game to get to. Let's see. David says, nah, never mind that. Coop says Utah at the house is different. If Kyrie, Luka, Exum get ruled out, it might take Utah on the spread. I'm Avery likes the Jazz plus 3.5, plus 4.5. I'm right there with you. Estai says he took a big L on the Heat Jazz game. Jazz home stance is real. Yeah, people gonna find out, one way or another. Appreciate you, Sam. Chris says Happy New Year. Hoping it'll be a good one. Absolutely, man. Sam says any possible people with over 10 rebounds, I should be able to tune into entirety of the stream. I didn't look at anybody rebounds, Sam. Only person rebounds I like today, I need to get rebounds, is Jared Allen. I took Jared Allen points plus rebounds in that game against the Toronto Raptors. All right, so last game on the board, is the Heat versus the Clippers. This is a very, very interesting game. I really like this game a lot. So injury-wise, before we get started, Jimmy Butler is ruled out for Miami. You got a lot of guys on the injury report that's all listed as questionable. I see Highsmith, Kyle Lowry, Cody Martin, and Josh Richardson all listed as questionable. So this line could actually come down. But on the other side, Kawhi Leonard's also listed as questionable. And this feels like the game, at least from what I was reading, it feels like the game Kawhi could return. Tyronn Lue's never gonna let the cat out the bag with that, 100% early, because they probably gonna make us wait all day. And this is the last game of the night. This game won't be played until 10:30 tonight, Eastern Standard Time. But this feels like the game that Kawhi is probably gonna return in the spot. If Kawhi returns and Miami has all of their players, I think the total goes up. And I'm just giving you my best play of the game. I think it goes under. Just looking at the numbers, I told you guys the other day Miami was the best road team as far as defense. They only given up like 108, 109 points. You mix that with the Clippers playing at one of the slowest paces in the league, and I think this game goes under a lot. Clippers also really, really good at home. Even though they got James Harden, they still a really good defensive team. They're 10-5-2 to the under at home. That's 66% right there, including 4-1 to the under when they have 2 days or more rest at the crib. So then they can really lock in on the defensive end. And like I said, the Heat, the best defensive team in the league, they're rested now. They get, a couple of those guys should come back from injury, which should even help their defense even more. I like the under in this game a little bit more than I like playing the side. But I'll tell you guys this. I don't know if Miami has lost a first quarter and first half as a road dog this season, outside of the last one, because they did lose that one to the Jazz by 1 point in the first half. So I think, Clippers, it might take them a while to kind of get their footing underneath them. Miami off a loss. I read the quotes from Duncan Robinson. He says that, they felt like they should have won that game. I think Miami comes out here early and can cover. But my top play of the game would definitely be the under. I think it goes up to maybe 228, which is where it opened. It's down to 227.5 now. I just see this game being one of those grinded out, slow style games, where it goes under. When these two teams play against each other, it's typically not a high total. Last time they played was January 2nd, 2023. That total was 218.5. It went under. Before that, 211. That game went over. 208, 211, 218. So to see this total at 227.5, the books are almost kind of like tempting you to want to play the over just because of the star power that could be in the game. But I think both of these teams match up pretty well against each other. And I see a bunch of missed shots, pretty slow pace. And the Clippers, like I said, one of the better teams defensively at the crib this season. And they didn't have to travel. This is their fourth straight home game. They do got to go to Phoenix coming up, but this is their fourth straight home game. And the Jazz, I'm sorry, not the Jazz, the Heat actually don't play. They got a day off as well. They play the Lakers on Wednesday. So both of these teams should be pretty locked in with a couple days rest before the game and a couple days of rest after the game. So those are my thoughts on the game. Resident Heat fan says this should be a good game where Bam and Tyler Hero each fill up the stat sheet with their points and rebounds against that drop. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see them getting Zubac in the drop coverage for sure. Avery likes the Clippers -7. He says all over the Clips here. Triple revenge spot for the Clips as well. I don't know, Avery, how much, I can't talk you off. I don't know how much the Clippers feel about revenge against a non-conference opponent, right? Like these teams haven't played against each other since what did I say? January 2nd of last year. So the roster makeup is a tad bit different, at least for the Clippers, because they got James Harden now. And I don't know who played in those games either, but the Clippers do play this team really, really well. I wouldn't be laying 7.5 in this spot. That's just my personal opinion. I think Miami can keep it close. Miami also, one of the better teams on the road, and one of the better teams on the road as a dog as well. Estai says Heat and Clippers similar shot profile will live with on either way with a good amount of mid-range plays, so I can see under. Ugly Slam Pig says, I hate the Knicks team. I want to hammer the Timberwolves, but the line looks a little too suspect. Yeah, I just played the money line, but best of luck no matter how you play it, if you play it. Estai says Heat owned the Clippers in recent history, bounce back spot. Estai also likes that Heat first half in full game, +7.5. Hero over 24.5 points. Bam over 22.5 points. And Jaime Jaquez Junior over 16.5 points. Jaime Jaquez has been hooping, and if those guys get rolled out, I like the addition of Jaime Jaquez. He also went to UCLA, so he's right in his backyard playing against the Clippers tonight and against the Lakers on Wednesday. And that's the show, man. That's the show. I'll go over recap real quick, and then I got to get up out of here. Like I said, super quick show today. But I'll do a recap. So this is what I played. It's all at the bottom. I'm on Minnesota on the money line. Game starts in about 15 minutes. We'll see how it goes. I also played Jared Allen in that game against the Cavs versus the Raptors. I played Jared Allen over his 28.5 points plus rebounds in this spot. Really love that spot for him. Good potential ladder spot there. And then Houston. I took Houston early. I took them first quarter, first half, and full game. Denver team total over 120.5 in that late game as well. We'll see how it goes, man. Those are the plays that I like. Gave you guys my whole card. Let me know if you're tailing. If you're tailing, best of luck. If you got plays that you like yourself, best of luck on those as well. There's a couple other that were honorable mentions that I didn't quite get to the window with. And we got plenty of time before the games actually start. And those were, I think it was two of them. Utah. I've been talking about Utah. Utah plus the 4.5. Like I said, I'm waiting until Kyrie and Luka gets ruled. Well, till Kyrie and Luka and hopefully Dante Exum get ruled in. I don't like, honestly, I could care less who they play. This is, to me, is more about the Jazz losing by 50 in that last spot. And Miami and LA the Clippers under 227.5. Hopefully this number goes back up to 228, 228.5 potentially, and I'll take that under as well. So a lot of plays for me. I typically don't have as many plays, but what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6 plays with 2 pending. And then also, the other couple spots that I was looking at was Hornets and the Nuggets to completely wash the Hornets early. So first half on the spread there. Probably gonna wait. Probably won't play that, but that will be my top look in that game. And then Blazers and Suns. I do like the Suns early as well. First half -6.5. I think they got a double-digit lead in the first half against that Blazers team. Revenge spot. Blazers also super thin with all the injuries that they got. I do lean towards the Pacers to be able to cover the 8.5 as well. And that is it. Best of luck, man. Happy New Year, like I said to everybody. Tomorrow we'll be back to doing the shows at normal time, 5 o'clock Eastern time, back to the regular slot. Like I said, just wanted to kind of test this out. If you're watching late, I have been putting up timestamps so you guys can go back and kind of, pick the game that you want to hear my analysis on. And like I said, best of luck, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm out.